Well, hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good morning. Happy Friday. I say good morning because it's morning here, but it may be afternoon or night wherever you are. I'm Clarissa Myers. I'm a spiritual entrepreneur, and every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I come and share a nugget or two, something that can spark you, get you going through the day, something that can be beneficial to you not only in your personal life, but also in your business. But to have a business, you got to have a sound mind, right? So I'm going to continue talking about what I started yesterday, emotional hygiene. That was really a foreign topic to me. I mean, never heard it put in that term, and I kind of like that term, emotional hygiene. Yesterday I talked about how you practice first aid. When you fall, you get an injury, you get a cut, a sore, whatever. You just don't leave it open to the elements. You address it. You put some antibiotics on it. You cover it, and if it's really bad, then you seek medical attention. But we don't think about that for our mind. I'm not saying brain. I'm talking about mind, your thought processes. And we are all human beings, and at one point or another, we will experience some trauma or some injury to our mind. Yes. Good morning, Siva. Good morning to you. Glad that you can join me this morning. So I'm just going to continue talking about how can you get yourself unstuck. And I say unstuck because we want to become the best we can possibly be. So we are all on this journey trying to become our best self. Not everybody wants to do that, but for those of you who do. And so this message may not be for everybody. It's for those who are on their journey trying to become the best version of themselves. Good morning to you, Martin. Thank you for joining me this morning. So the thing is, when you suffer an injury, what do? Emotional hygiene. How do you get unstuck to become your best self, especially when you suffered some type of emotional trauma? Well, the first thing, I was listening to a gentleman named Guy Winch. And I wanted to, because this is fascinating. I know for me, on my journey, I've experienced trauma, different kinds of trauma. Some trauma could be very minor. It may just take you a day or two to get yourself together. But some trauma can be take a lifetime to get over. Some people can't get over it. But for those of you, just know that there is hope. And so he offered some suggestions on how you can treat yourself in terms of emotional first aid. First thing is to distract yourself from whatever is causing that pain. Because, there's a term called rumination, and that's simply repeating that same event over and over, just reliving it in your mind, and you're just stuck and you can't get past it. So you have to distract yourself from whatever is causing the pain. And one of the things that work best is exercise. I knew that was me. For a time in my life, some of you may have met me when I was on just every day I would walk, and that was very therapeutic for me. Now, we all are different. Some people prefer to recoil, and that's not a good thing, because when you recoil from society, recoil from friends and family, whatever, that's when you need them most. So it's good to get around friends. And what you tell yourself, sometimes you say, oh, well, I don't feel like being around anybody, and you just want to stay away. That's not the time to stay away. That's when we need to be around people. And for those who are maybe feeling really good, we have to, I say we because I'm included, be aware of those who are going through something, especially when they've lost a loved one. That's a time to reach out. And we have this cliche, well, let me know what you need. Just let me know. Don't just tell them. Call, send a card, visit on that end. But if you're going through it, don't be telling yourself those horrible things. You're a horrible person, because you can sink yourself further into that state of depression. All right. So again, distract yourself. doing something that you enjoy. Walking is good. Getting around family, friends, that's great. Now, when you find yourself in that cycle, repeating the same event in your mind that's causing you to get more and more depressed, stop immediately. Just, hey, stop. I need to stop this stinking thinking. Stop it. And it's hard to do, especially when, you know what they say, a habit, when you're doing something over and over and over again, and when you're playing it over and over, it's just kind of hard to, step off of that wheel that's going around and around. And at some point, you may not be feeling that way now, but you may know someone who is, and maybe there's something that may come to you where it gives you emotional trauma. So you need to know what first aid things to do to help you get out of it. All right, so the second thing is stop that stinking thinking. Third, schedule a time to think about, to reflect. And I don't want to say a time where you can, like the whole day. No, maybe set aside, make 5-10 minutes. Okay, I'm going to think about this thing, because part of the healing process, you do have to think, you do have to reflect, but don't dwell on it all day. Okay, I'm going to think about it for 5-10 minutes, but then I'm going to get out and I'm going to do this. So have some kind of activity to do after that, so that you're not staying down there in the rut. And part of healing is being able to talk about it. So you don't want to talk about it to just anybody. If that trauma is so intense, it may require you to get medical attention. So you're guided in your thoughts, so that you're not staying there wallowing in whatever. So you can kind of tie those two together. If it's that traumatic, you do need to speak with someone. Some people try to deal with it themselves, but it may not be in a healthy way. And before you know it, they are doing something more detrimental to themselves. So stop that stinking thinking. That's number 2. Schedule a time when you can think about it, but not to dwell on it, to reflect on it. And part of reflecting, you need to be able to verbalize and share. Choose who you share it with, because sometimes you share it with the wrong person and your business is everywhere. So one way to guard against that, maybe if it's that deep, seek medical help. All right, so schedule a time to share. You do it with your therapist or your and I'm talking like this because this has happened to me. At one point or another, somebody will experience that emotional trauma. And there's nothing to be embarrassed about, because we are human beings. Somehow this has gotten a stigma. No, it just means you just need a little bit of help in clearing your mind, clearing your thoughts, so that you can move on. Another way that you can deal with that trauma that you have in your mind is to write it down. Perhaps you keep a journal. Write down what your thoughts are. That way it's you're kind of like purging yourself. You keep a little journal or diary so you can write, okay, but don't just write about that. Think about all of your blessings. Because for me, that was tremendous. Think about all the other things that I am good at, or some things that the blessings that I have in my life. So you start transferring those negative, or whatever the negative experience was, bring more positives into it. Because if you're alive, you're blessed. You're here. If you're in your right mind, that's a blessing in itself. So appreciate the great things about you. Oh, good morning to you. I see some friends who come on here. Good morning, Joelle. And I thought, Milton, glad that you can join me this morning. I'm just talking about, good morning, Barbara. I'm talking about emotional hygiene. Like, again, I said, and I was listening to, his name is Guy Winch. A lot of times we all know what to do in the event of an injury, like a cut or burn, or we can put topical stuff. We know how to dress that wound, how to take care of it. But our mind, we have to take care of that too. And if we are human beings, at one point or another in our life, we will experience some kind of trauma to our mind. People who don't deal with it in a proper way, they end up lashing out or doing some things that may not be the helpful to themselves or to others. So we have to deal with it. So number 5, I said to write it down. You could do that in a journal. And when you have overcome that trauma, whatever it is, you can now use that to help somebody else. You know, we all different, but what worked for you may not work for me, but it may work for someone else. All right. Next, identify triggers. What do you mean by that? I know a few years ago, my mom was very, very ill, and I was wanting to see her, couldn't see her. And one of my friends, her mom was ill too. And it was very difficult for me to go and see my friend's mom because I was dealing with some things. Sometimes it's a way that we protect ourselves, you know, and it's not easy. It's not easy. So then the next thing is, the number 8. There's quite a few that I'm going to share today. Number 8 is just to meditate. You know, believe that things will get better. You know, lightning, they say, doesn't strike in the same place all the time. So things may be bad at this moment, but it will get better. You have to have hope. You have to have faith. You have to believe in yourself. And so if you're on that journey and you encounter that dip or that bump or that trauma, know that it's not going to last forever. It's there for a time. So those were about 7 or 8 ways that you can treat yourself in terms of first aid for your mind. And that's what I have for you today. This is the weekend. I also have in the description a link to I have a description. In the description, I have a link to three different things. One is if you have already passed your traumatic experience, you may want to journal it or write it in a book. So I have a link for a book there. Second, I have another link to my YouTube channel because I upload this into my YouTube, so you can go there and catch all the other ones. And third is this coming weekend on Sunday in Chesapeake, Virginia, for those of you in this area, you can check at the Chesapeake Conference Center. There will be a conference. It's called Change, Sustain Change. It's from 2 until 6. So if you need any more information about that, let me know. Oh, hi Roland, glad that you can join me this morning. And there's some others. Good morning to you, Peter. I think, good morning, Joelle. Glad that you're here. Good morning, Charles, Milton. Thank you guys for joining me. And if you're catching the replay, do share this out. Say hello. Tell me where you're tuning in from. And every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I come and share a little tip, a little something with you. So I will see you again on Monday. Enjoy your weekend. Bye now.